Hello, good afternoon, morning, or evening, whenever you guys see this video. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, the official Sacred Sensuality. I'm going to jump right into your reading. So, I kept hearing over and over, new love or true love. So, for many of you, there's new love or true love either on the way or about to be reestablished. For many of you, I see there is a reestablishment of new love, a reunion coming together, possibly even someone being taken out of the friend zone or coming out of the friend zone. What I found most interesting during this reading as I was shuffling, 1,000,000 cards. Quite seriously, I've never had this happen to me in the almost 15 years of me reading cards professionally. I have never seen this many cards come out, okay? But before we proceed, because I do hear some outside noise, I do want to apologize ahead of time. If you guys just so happen to hear some outside noise, it's Saturday and a lot of people are in the process of mowing lawns and socializing and things like that. Anyway, so I asked Spirit. I said, Spirit, what is the reason for all of these freaking cards? Because there were a total of 16 tarot cards that flew at me. And I thought that was very interesting because, like I said, that has never happened before. It was as if this message is supposed to come across. It's supposed to happen. And I see the reasons why. Spirit basically said, when I pulled the additional card, it's because new love is coming in. Like quite literally what I picked up is what's coming in. You guys got the Ace of Cups. I thought that was miraculous. That's beautiful, and I'm really loving this for you guys. Right now, I'm seeing that either you guys are currently in the friend zone, coming out of the friend zone, getting over the friend zone, something of that effect, to where it may feel kind of like a unrequited love. Spirit is kind of wanting you out of that energy and to establish a new boundary. I feel that that new boundary is either I'm your friend or I'm your man. I'm your friend or I'm your girl. But I can't be both, basically. So, and I believe this is mostly geared towards people who either have had a relationship in the past with someone, and like I said, it's becoming reestablished, and they're like, oh, we didn't get along in the past in a romantic type of way, but now you get along, you know better. It's seen as that, or it could be there was a friends with benefits type of situation. So Spirit wants you out of that energy. And like I said, establishing that new boundary and either cutting it off or, and I hate to say this, but in so many words, giving them an ultimatum. I don't even want to say ultimatum. You're giving them a choice. You're giving them a choice. The choice is, are you mine or not? Because if so, we need to do something different here. For some of you, you could have been involved in some type of I don't know, I'm getting this one. I'm gonna get to that one last. I'm feeling that some of you could have been involved in some type of online relationship, and this person was pretty much fake. They were fake. Told a lot of lies. Your faith has either left this person entirely, your situation entirely, or you're just no longer putting any more faith forward. In fact, I feel that with whatever broken promises or things that they have told you, lies, trust that was supposedly established, you're like, all of this shit is dead. It's dead now. It's time for me to move forward. But for some of you, you feel trapped in this situation. You feel like you can't get out, like there's not any more options. Maybe for some of you, you're in smaller cities, smaller towns, and there's not that many people to choose from. So, you know, it's giving a feeling of like, I'm sticking with what's familiar. Once again, Spirit is saying with all of these flyouts, it's time to get out. It's time to move on because there's something that's trying to come in, but it cannot come in until you move this boulder of a person out of the way. This person that you could have dealt with, for some of you, had ulterior motives that were supposed to teach you love lessons, especially with this person who you could have established like an online relationship with, right? That had ulterior motives. So for instance, if you were dealing with someone who was from another country, maybe they thought that, and especially if you're established here in America, and this is no shade to any country that is outside of America that is possibly watching me, but maybe they could have felt that, hey, if I establish trust with this person and give them quote unquote love from a distance and be the perfect representative, I'll not only get a chance to go there to see them, but I'll also get a chance to become a resident, a citizen, a dual citizen, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's just an example. And this is, again, no shade to even to those who are immigrants or whatever. It's nothing like that against you guys, okay? But it happens, so let's keep it real. I used to work for the military, so I've seen it happen. But what I'm seeing here, there is someone has ulterior motives. I'm just not getting good energy. They don't have your best interest at heart. It's purely for selfish reasons that this person has been in contact with you, has been maintaining, so to speak, contact with you. They could also be feeling trapped in some type of way. Like, I've come this far, now I got to go through it. You know, like, and you're starting to see through it. You could be sitting in a phase right now where you are, I'm not really getting a full-blown depression. I'm getting more so just extreme disappointment. You know, maybe even some regrets, a little bit of resentment here and there, but I'm seeing that you're wishing that things were different between you and this person. They could be wishing the same thing. It's like you're shutting down. You're not expressing yourself the way you would like to. You're wanting someone that you have longed and craved for a long time. And once again, that's going back to maybe this was a person who friend zoned you friend zoned, or vice versa. You know, take it as it resonates. But that could be the person that you've always wanted. For those of you who are not dealing with someone directly or in those type of situations, I'm feeling that you want someone that you've always had this image of. You know, they tick your boxes, your requirements that you want in a person. You want someone who will give you a slow, beautiful, not necessarily slow as in, you know, it's not moving that much, but a graceful type of love. Like, I'm seeing a dance, like a graceful dance. Someone who's able to communicate, listen, someone who has empathy, someone who will help you come up with solutions to things and vice versa. You want something equal. And it's hard for you to express that right now, because maybe some of you could feel like, if I say this and I tell, you know, people or the person that this is what I want, maybe they'll pretend to be that, and then I'll get fooled. I'll get a dupe, you know, and you don't want to go through that. So maybe that could be a reason why many of you are not really expressing yourself, because you don't want to, excuse me, confirmation Bert, thanks to Jadina. From what I'm seeing here, it's like maybe you're having trouble saying that, because it's like you don't want to put your foot in your mouth. You don't want to fake. You don't want any more fakes. You're done with that part of your life. You could either be wanting someone, I hate that term ride or die, because why do I have to die, and why do we always have to ride, right? But you want someone that has such unwavering loyalty. You could have been in many situations, relationships, whatever you want to call it, to where you were always the person who were dying. You were always self-sacrificing, so to speak. They were the ride, you were the die. You got dropped off right at death's door, at love's death's door, so to speak. And so you're just like, I no longer want to have that type of love. I want someone who's just loyal. You know, sometimes I'll drive, sometimes you'll drive, but neither one of us has to die, you know? And that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here. Spirit is saying to you that healing is going to happen quietly. So if you feel that there has not been any movement, especially these last few months, weeks, days, whatever, in your life, Spirit is saying that it's time for you to heal. The healing, you've got to be on a healing journey. It's time right now. However long your healing is, of course, that is all individualistic. Some people can get over things in a week and they are totally fine. Some people it takes a year or years. You know what I mean? So now it's time for you to face whatever those parts of you that needs healing. Hence, I see why the Devil card came out. Maybe you have a tendency to attract, or these type of people are attracted to you. They have these toxic habits. They don't know how to let go. Very dependent, and even you could have had some of these traits as well. Dependent on the next person. Very strong sexual connections. You may have had great sexual compatibility with people. A lot of lust that has happened in, your relationships, but this person or you could have had cruel habits, a darkness to them that they didn't resolve. They could have been kind of like a negative Nancy too, like bringing you negative shit all the time, kind of bringing the relationship down, not really being uplifting. And that's another thing that could have made a lot of you guys go silent. It's like, am I going to deal with this again with another person? Am I free to express myself? And I'm going to tell you right now, this is my motto and my logo. Love is freedom. Period. I can expand on that another day, but love is freedom. Real love is freedom. And I feel like with this Devil energy here, maybe in addition to you having the trapped card, and I'm seeing several cards showing that many of you have felt trapped in a situation. Remember, the Devil, at least to me, and how I explain it to people, your belief is your belief, right? You have a light and a dark side. The Devil side, which they like to call the dark side, that's the side of you that deserves light. Meaning, turn that flashlight on that darkness. You see it, you acknowledge it, you know what the problem is, work towards balancing it or healing it. Whichever one works for you, right? Remember, since the Devil to me is not a person, it's just a part of you, right? That part of you is calling for some attention, some love. It's calling for some positivity. It's calling to be released, no longer chained. That's what the Devil card is showing me here. This is how you would get out of that energy. Spirit also wants you to forgive yourself, because Spirit knows that for many of you, love is like, it could be a motivator, and for many people it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting a person who can motivate you and you can motivate them. You want someone who can help you be your best self and vice versa is what I see here. So Spirit is like, I agree. I think, I believe that is how love should go. Love should definitely help you to be your best self. But love cannot help you be your best self if you are not actively working on clearing those shadows, those negative parts that contribute to bad relationship habits, and forgiving yourself, right? That's when love will show up and give you the best of what you deserve. In addition, with the star here, healing, Spirit is saying you still have hope. There's so much hope waiting for you. It's just now, it's like Spirit is saying it's your turn to put a little bit more hope in yourself, a little bit more faith out there. I'm sorry, guys. I have so many cards. It's like I said, so many flew out, and I'm not even halfway done with this reading. Spirit is saying, it's time for you to continue your hope. Rebuild that confidence as much as you can. Yeah, you may have had some bad habits in the past. Yeah, some things may have happened. It may have went down, but that does not mean it lessens your value. In fact, it adds more to you. So from what I'm seeing here, Spirit is reminding you that you are still worthy of all those good things that you desire. All the heart's desires is what I like to call it. The Spirit wants you back in comfort, or entering into a phase where you are not only comfortable with being in a relationship, but first you got to be comfortable with yourself. And that's what that Nine of Pentacles is about. The Nine of Pentacles is about self-worth. It is about, I have it all together. I don't need anyone in a needy type of way, like I must have you, Now there's different types of needs. However, I do want someone, but I want someone to add value. Spirit is reminding you that when you go out and you seek someone, or someone seeks you, you want to look at someone who's going to add value to you, and you're going to add value to them. Someone who can inspire you, someone who can add to your happiness. You can add to their happiness. You're not here to make anyone happy. They're not here to make you happy. They're only here to add or subtract. If you allow someone to subtract from you, then that's what's going to happen. And that's how you're going to end up in that devil energy, right? Spirit wants you to restore your confidence. It wants you to, I'm seeing here, Spirit is like saying, it's like Spirit. I'm seeing Spirit. My version of Spirit is different, right? I'm seeing Spirit talk to someone. And it's like it's saying, don't forget who you are. You're much better than the things that have happened to you in the past. Yeah, they'd happened. Yes, it's okay to sit in it for a little bit and to acknowledge it and to heal from it. But Spirit is also saying, don't forget, you still have hope. What are you going to lose by putting hope out there? Spirit is also saying that your worth, look at your achievements. You are not just your achievements. However, Spirit is reminding you, remember that time you did this. Remember that time you did that. That's what Spirit is kind of like saying to you. And so Spirit wants to remind you to think about those things, those good things. Not everything is bad. You may be in a down moment right now, and it's okay for you to feel that way. But just don't forget that sometimes shit happens even in love. I'm also seeing here, Spirit wants you, it's like Spirit is bringing you to a place of logic as well. I see a lot of air cards. Actually, I see a mixture of cards, but definitely some air cards. So some of you could be, any sign really, but definitely Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Virgo, definitely Aquarius, definitely Leo, definitely Virgo, Cancer, Capricorn, and Aries is what I'm mostly seeing here. However, Spirit is saying here with this King of Swords, everybody calls the King and Queen of Swords so many bad names. However, you got to admire them for their intelligence. So Spirit is like saying to you, it wants you to, in a way, validate those feelings that you have, number one, because they are, of course, still, they're just as valuable as your emotions. But then Spirit wants you to start putting it in a logical way. Why did this happen? Why did I allow this to happen? When did I pick up on this habit? When did I allow this person to do this or get away with this? That way you're able to pick up on your habits, your patterns, and you're like, that's where I fucked up at. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Now it's time to move forward. When you do that, it's like your confidence is definitely gonna start coming back, because you're like, okay, now I see what I messed up at. Did they take advantage of it? Yep. But I am strong enough to take accountability for my part. So I'm gonna be fair and say, yes, they took advantage. They fucked me up in this type of way, but I allowed it to some degree. And am I going to blame myself and be all butthurt about it? No, not really, because I'm in the process of forgiving myself. I didn't know any better at that time, but now that I do, now it's time for me to exercise my autonomy, my authority in my life, and show that I am able to logically and emotionally process relationship dynamics. Spirit is also saying here, you're about to become the center of attention and you don't even really know it. With the Queen of Wands here, it's time to, it's going back to confidence. It's going back to confidence. Spirit wants you to have that confidence again. It's time for you to show, the Queen of Wands, she's a leader. Of course, they tend to call fire signs, like leadership, and they are most of the time. But now it's time for you to show leadership in your life. You are not what happened to you in the past. You are not even, if you're still stuck in it currently, you're not that. It's just something that's happening, something that's unfolding. But once again, going back to that King of Swords energy, now it's time to come up with a good plan on how to get the hell out, while maintaining hope that, you know what, not everybody is like this. There's somebody out there that's better for me. And one thing the Queen of Wands, she does, once she gets to a point of being fed up, she's kind of like, not necessarily fuck you, but fuck you in no so many words. And if you do not like me using profanity, you can always go to another channel. But she's like, fuck you, but at the same time, I kind of don't care, is the energy that I'm getting right now. So, and you won't care, you shouldn't care is what Spirit is saying. You shouldn't care because you're at the point of knowing yourself all over again. You have not lost hope in yourself, in your situation. You're not going to be stuck there. Even if you're sitting in a situation with someone and you don't even know if you're going to take this person back. You may be at hell no, you can't come right back right now or later. But who knows? Because you are getting at this point of healing, loving, and knowing and forgiving yourself, there may be a possibility. And guess what? Your new possibility now comes with those boundaries that Spirit told you to do. And because you've done it, now you're like, I'm not accepting no bullshit. That's not happening here. Miss me with that, basically. But you're about to be admired on so many different levels. I see many of you having some suitors coming in. It's going to be your charisma, your confidence, your hope, even for some of you, like and I try to tell all adults this as an adult in my mid-40s. And I get mistaken all the time for having such a youthful face. And I'm grateful for that. But never lose your childlike wonder. Never lose that. I don't care if you're 60. Never end your curiosity for the world. Never stop learning. That's what the King and the Queen of Wands, they kind of have their energy. They get a little bit of a know-it-all sometimes. But when they get playful and loving and seriously playful and loving, that childlike nature to them is so beautiful. It's like, oh my God, now my inner kid can come out to play with your inner kid. My parents said it's okay and your parents said it's okay, so let's go to the park kind of energy. The innocence about you. Don't lose that. The Queen of Wands can be very over-sexualized. So you can balance that out by having that inner child come out from time to time to remind a person, look, I'm not just sexy. I'm not just charismatic. Yes, I'm a full-blown adult, but I will definitely get on the swings in the park in a heartbeat, So maintain that good energy about you, because that is what's going to bring new suitors, new people who are going to be interested in you. And you'd be surprised once you start shedding the grief, the sadness, the low self-esteem. It even shows in your pictures. It even shows in your when you post online. Sometimes I've noticed something. If I post myself and I am in a grieving state, a sad state, I don't get that many likes. But if I'm posting myself in a happy, loving, joyful state, even if I don't feel that way, I notice people tend to flock to me. You will even see that in your pictures. I honestly will encourage some of you during this time, take a picture. If you're going through something that's tough right now with someone, a relationship dynamic, take a picture of before and then take a picture of the after, how you felt, and date it. And I would just say post it to see what happens. And I mean post this when you look physically your best. Spirit is also understanding why you're tired. And I don't know if you know that you're tired because of this. You're tired as hell because you've had to protect yourself so many times. You've had to guard your heart. You've had to be strategic with. And I don't really advocate for people using strategy for being vulnerable, but maybe there are some times when we have to, because you don't know the motives of this person, or even that person, that trust has now been broken. So now I have to move strategically with you, and I really don't want to do that. It doesn't make me feel to do that, but at the same time I have to protect myself. Protecting yourself has made you so tired. Spirit wants you to keep protecting yourself, but it wants you to let go of the idea that every single person is out to harm you. Release that, because it's heavy for you. It's so heavy that some of you have seen that as valuable. No, the valuable part is being wise, using discernment, and protecting yourself as best as you can without looking at the protection. The way of the protection is just so valuable. If you know what I mean, if I'm explaining that correctly. Spirit also wants you to be open to continuously learning how to develop. Taking ownership of things in your life that you want to accomplish. Being careful not to inherit, so to speak. If you've had a mom or a dad who showed you the old school ways of dating and they still think that it applies today, let's stop that. Let's stop that. As a child of a parent who was a boomer, I get it. I do. But now Spirit is saying you have to flow with the times. You have to let that go. There is some value in that, though. Don't get me wrong. There is some value in that. But some parts of that, you have to let it go. Because in addition to what you've been through and the protection, it's making you tired. It's too damn heavy for you to continue carrying. People like to call the 7 of Cups as a card of confusion. And while it can be in certain readings surrounding certain cards, not at all in this reading. Did the person you were messing with, were they probably confused and had too many damn choices? Absolutely. So many choices that they confused themselves. They put themselves in a mental maze. But Spirit is now saying it's your turn. You've got the choices. You're going to have the choices to create your own 2 of Cups, because the 2 of Cups is right next to it. And what do we call the 2 of Cups? It's, of course, a beautiful card. The 2 of Cups talks about partnerships. It talks about cooperation, working together, reconciling. Once again, going back to that reconciling. So this could be someone that you're, getting ready to reconcile with. But don't forget, you still have choices. I am not a huge advocate of oh, I have options. Yeah, we all do. We all have options, even those of us who aren't even as attractive as physically as some would say, you know? But do your options and your choices, do they match everything that you require? You're looking for the quality of a person. So Spirit doesn't want you to forget that. Yeah, you have options, you have choices, but don't forget, you're looking for quality. It is the quality that's going to give you that Two of Cups. Even if this, like I said, going back to a person that you may be in the process of reconciling with, or even in the future reconciling with, Spirit is saying that you're going to give this new thing that's coming towards you, this new love, is going to be rooted in friendship, being romantic, mutual, having a mutual exchange with each other. There's no more fighting. There's no more BS. It's fair. It's even now. You know? You just have to make sure that whoever your person is, even if this is a person that you are choosing to go down the road again with, is one that you can choose from. You don't have to be with them. They're also a choice as well. The way new love is going to come to you, it's going to come in a little slow. I'd say for many of you, according to my timing, from what I'm seeing, it's funny because it actually agrees with the cards that I pulled, but we'll get to that one in a second. Starting around fall through the end of the year. Sometime around September, maybe, you're going to come across this person. This is going to be a time when you come across this person when you are in youthful, curious, serious, reliable energy. Are you unreliable now? I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no, because honestly, I don't. I don't know you. But the Knight of Pentacles is reliable energy, which means that whatever healing and releasing that you have done, you've made yourself more emotionally reliable. And so has your person, right? It's going to be a person who's going to make you feel safe. They're going to be pretty much protective over you. You're also maturing. I don't care how old you are and you're listening to this reading. You're going to be maturing differently. And that's because you were patient with yourself. You loved yourself. You took care of those things the Spirit told you to take care of. Right? So that's when this energy is going to start coming in, and it's only going to be when you're in that energy. Once you're planted in that energy, you evolve directly into the Empress. I don't care if you're a male. I don't care if you're a female. I don't care if you're a corn. It does not matter your sex, your status, who you identify as. The Empress card is not necessarily male or female, although it is a feminine person, so to speak, on the card. Empress energy is energy that is receptive. Receptive, yet nurturing, which means that it gives back. Right? Empress energy knows their worth. Hey, I'm not stepping off of my throne and all of my kingdoms to get down to where you are. And this is not speaking down on anybody. This is basically saying, if you aren't emotionally mature for me, possibly financially, depending on what you're looking for, financially, mentally, how can I build anything with you? How can you, once again, going back to that question, how can you add value to me? Because as far as I know, I have all the value. I have all the love. I don't need anything. Do I want to give? Yes. But I also want to receive. So the Empress energy is about reciprocity. Empress energy is also saying that during this time, you're going to be very sensitive. You're going to still be developing. You're going to be seen as the highest of the high. If you don't know that Maxwell song, it's called, oh God, it's Maxwell, highest of the high, something like that. I can't remember. It came out in the mid-late 90s. And he's talking in the song about, he says, shorty, you don't realize you're the highest of the high. If you don't know that, I'll say it. I'll never wonder. And it's basically, he's in so much awe of this person, this woman who is so extremely, she's captured him in every way. And that song reminds me of the Empress. The Empress is basically, you know, she doesn't meet her potential. She's already at potential, plus she's developing more. She never stops learning. Like I said, never stop learning as you get older, right? And she's so creative. She makes nothing out of something. She makes something even more. She makes it all valuable. And that's the energy that you have to be in order to grab this new, mature, stable, reliable energy that is coming towards your way. What I found even more beautiful, you guys, the Hierophant. Yeah, structure, buildings, governments, paperwork, all of that stuff, right? Spirit is like, I know ultimately you want the structure of a commitment. What commitments means to you, that's your business. It could be marriage. It could be a long-term relationship. It could just be a partnership. It does not matter. Spirit is saying, I know that's what you want. I know you want the structure of it. And I've been hearing your prayers. And I see that you've been making progress, especially spiritually. And I see you've grown wiser from your past. But now, not only is it time for you to have what you've been wanting, you've been craving, I require something of you. This is something a lot of readers miss out when they come to the Hierophant card. It's time for you to teach, to spread the word on how you developed into a better person. Not just for your person, but for yourself. You have to spread that energy around. You have to keep that going, right? But you're also still a student. You're still seeking advice, right? You're like, I'm not too old to learn better, you know? So I think Spirit is calling right now for would be calling during that time, a spirit of obedience in a way. Obedience meaning, you know what? It is time for me to teach. I had a friend of mine, he's not a friend. He told me the other day, he said, I'm not here to teach anybody anything. And it made me sad because everybody's here to teach. Everybody is here to learn. The Hierophant is, considered like one of the highest teachers in tarot. Yes. But he's also a student. How the hell did he get there? He had to be a student at some point, right? He wasn't just born and just came out. Boom, I'm going to, show you some math. I'm going to show you some laws of philosophy. And no. The Hierophant is also a student. A real teacher learns also from their students. You are both teacher and student at this time in your life. And Spirit is wanting you as a favor to give that back. That includes, if you have a friend that's going through something, hey, I'm going to tell you what I went through. Even if you don't like talking about it, because that card, I have trouble expressing myself, that showed up. You may be in that energy now, but you will more than likely be out of it later and later on in the year. right? With this Queen of Swords here, that's telling me I'm ready to talk. The Queen of Swords, once again, is that Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. She's very smart, very mentally sharp, very witty, helps you come. She's like the King of Swords. She's a judge too. Think of Deborah in the Bible. She's a judge, right? She can help you come to the right decision. Maybe you can help your friend, your child, someone who has been on the road that you're on, and all the things that you're learning and you have learned come to a better conclusion about life and about their situations. It's so much masculine and feminine energy here, guys. It's ridiculous. I don't care if you're a female or if you're a male, once again, whatever you identify as, these energies, the way they flow so beautifully, it's miraculous to me, because this is telling me that if you've come here to this reading and with the messages the Spirit has been giving me and how I'm channeling, this is something that many of you may need to hear. We are at 41 minutes right now. I didn't expect that. I'm not even halfway done with this reading, but Spirit has so many messages to tell you guys. With the King of Cups and the Six of Swords right next to it, moving on emotionally is very important for your growth in order to bring forth this new love that's coming in. Whatever conflict that you had within yourself regarding love, confirmation bird. Whatever conflict that you had going on within yourself regarding love, regarding past lovers, once again, always easier said than done, but in a way, Spirit is like saying, take it all in stride. Take it all in stride. Now it's time for you to resettle. It's time for you to move forward. And for those of you that feel that they may have to move for love, like, hey, I'm not finding love in my town, my city, whatever. Or you may be reconciling with someone who lives in another city. Whatever your situation is, Spirit is supporting that, because you're moving from not just a heart-led center. See, the King of Cups, he is in control of his emotions. With the Six of Swords. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not wearing my glasses. With the Six of Swords surrounding that, Spirit is saying, he's reliable. This energy is reliable in his emotions. He trusts that where he's going is going to get him exactly where he needs to be. Exactly where he has been trying to go for the longest time. Male or female, doesn't matter. This energy is saying, once again, I'm going with the flow. And of course, what flows? Water. King of Cups sits on water. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, right? I'm going with the flow. I'm not trying to control the water, because I am the water. I am every emotion. But because I am king, I am in control of my emotions. I am kinder. I am sweeter. I am more discerning. I am more considerate. And I am more emotional in a very balanced way. So me moving towards the next person, the next town, the next thing, I'm doing so with heart. But my mind is not left out. My mind is in agreement as well. My mind knows that my mind is supporting my emotions, so to speak. And this change that I'm going to is going to benefit me in the long run. The King of Pentacles is, to me, telling me Spirit is giving you a heads up on who is coming. This energy, once again, doesn't matter if you're male, female, whatever. King of Pentacles is so, once again, reliable. Pentacle energy usually is, and it's Once again, you think about the Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. As a Virgo sun, Capricorn rising, I like to consider myself reliable. I am a woman of my word. I don't like to say that I'm going to do something and I do nothing. That it weighs on my mind, and it forces me to like, okay, time to apologize and get right back on. I'm taking my accountability for that. That's the King of Pentacles energy. I learned that as I got older, right? And of course, the King of Pentacles, he's an elder. He has that older man energy, that older, mature man. So for many of you, you're about to encounter someone that is reliable, mature, they're stable, mind, body, spirit. I'm really getting body. Like this could be a person who takes care of their body really good. They could be like, I don't want to say a health nut, like a person who, even if they don't go to the gym, they may be a person who's very strict on eating right, very strict on taking a daily walk or something like that. You know what I mean? This is a person that you're about to come into contact with that wants commitment. Once again, this could be a person from the past. Just know this is a person who has changed. They've evolved into this energy, right? This is a person who they control themselves through discipline. They may not have a tendency to be as kind as they'd like to themselves. They may be a person who's just very hell-bent on accomplishing a task. Once again, and I found myself in that same energy too. It's like that tunnel vision, but it's not it's not intentional to where it's going to hurt. It's more like I am intentional, period. So this person that you're getting ready to come across is going to be ambitious, intelligent, and very intentional with you. Very practical, very, I don't get frugal, but very stable in their money. So you may come across a person who honestly could be getting ready to retire or the way that they save for retirement, it may teach you something. It may, like, you might go like, wow, how did you amass that amount in such a short time? And they give you some secrets. So definitely this is a person you can learn from. This is also a person who has a very strong sexual drive. Male or female, because I have the Ace of Wands. Yes, we identify as tarot readers, the Ace of Wands, as someone with a phallus. But let's not forget, feminines have something similar to a phallus, right? So again, it doesn't matter if this is whether you were born or did a sex change or intersex. This is someone with a very high sex drive. This is somebody who is, oh my God, they love to create. They may even want a lot of kids if you haven't had kids yet. They love the act and the risk of, if you get what I'm saying, if you get my drift. And for them, it may be like, well, if it happens, it happens, and then I'm going to keep going. It doesn't mean I'm going to be less attractive to you. In fact, I might think you're more attractive in that state, in that creative state, in that pregnant state, so to speak. So if you're not looking to have children, be careful. But if you're a person who doesn't mind, or that's something that you're looking for in your next partner, this is definitely the partner that you want to be with. This is a person who does not mind co-creating with you. Once again, because they're reliable, and more than likely they'll be financially prepared to take on this new life with you, including creating a business, supporting you, backing you up, giving you sparks of innovation and creativity, ideas. This person is, I'm also getting, I don't know why Spirit is saying this. If you are a person who is not comfortable with being poly or bisexual, pansexual, all the sexuals, you may just come across a person who is your ideal person that does not mind you having those dual sexualities, so to speak. They don't mind. It doesn't bother them. They're more so concerned with, are you reliable? Are you loving? Are you compassionate? Are you empathetic? That's what your person is going to be concerned with. You may have the same concerns. If this is you, and you may come across someone who may have all of those sexuals, and you may not mind. It may not bother you. As long as you are with me, I'm feeling, even if it is a poly relationship, I'm not an advocate of poly relationships, but I do understand they are for some people, not for me personally. What you do is what you do. That's your business. But even if you do meet someone else and say, hey, I am poly, just to give you a heads up, I hope that's okay with you, because there's people who are just polysexually. There's people who are poly and they're emotionally and sexually, enticed by the other person. So maybe that may not bother you. And that's because your chemistry. And chemistry is not just sexuality. It's not just sexual. Your chemistry is strong enough to create a bond that is built on friendship and is rooted in love. So it's kind of like, oh, you're going to see your other partner? That's okay. I get it. But once again, it's something to where you understand this person and they understand you very strong on a sexual nature. This reading is at 51 minutes. So with that being said, I'm going to stop here, you guys, because I really think that this is important that you get the other details that Spirit was giving me, because I'm telling you, it's a lot. And your new love life is coming. So I'm going to stop here and I am going to record a part 2.